Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk you and walk you through the complete roadmap of to become a multi-cloud architect, right? How you can become one, and even if you have right set of skills, knowledge, and expertise and experience as well, but still you have multiple questions how either I can become a single cloud architect, right? Instead of you can see at the top here, including Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, or any other cloud that you have skills and expertise around, right? Now, the first question could be if I have right set of skill and still how I can become expert on it, right? And even if I have the right set of expertise, right set of understanding, right set of knowledge, but still I'm not able to express it during in my job or wherever I'm working on, whether it is a project or what is or whatever it is, right? So definitely there are some of the areas and skills and can be built over time. That's not something you can just say, okay, I know this thing or I am expert on this area, and let me express that in my different ways or different thoughts around it, and then I would be able to become one. Definitely, you can become one, but definitely you got to start practicing that, bringing that to your conversation, bringing that to your knowledge, bringing that in your team, and you got to also teach the same within your area, within your team, or the people around you, so that they can also try grabbing that knowledge, and same can be building your and boosting your confidence around the same, right? Now, there are different tools available and different capabilities provided by each of these public cloud providers. If you look at around their different documentation, let's take an example of Azure. They have different documentation around cloud architecture, right? Azure Cloud Architecture Center, along with their WAF, Well Architecture Framework, CAF, which is Cloud Adoption Framework, which is also going to help to build cloud strategy, which is going to be the one where we can start building architecture from the ground. And once we build the ground level architecture, then gradually we can bring on that to the implementation and production and everything together, right? So that is what, and that is how it's going to be. Also, there are many areas where you need to focus on as an architect, and that's what I'm going to decode in this video, right? And this video definitely is going to be on top level and high level scenarios, but once you go ahead and start working and building that skill, definitely that's going to take a lot of time. And sometimes you might feel, okay, this is very overwhelming. How I can go ahead and do that? I don't really have much time. I don't have a complete understanding. So you can definitely take a mentorship of your friends or someone who can guide you, walk you through, and definitely you can also reach out to me, right? So that I can also guide you on those scenarios, right? So let's go ahead and talk about it, and let me share my screen. Definitely, it's a PowerPoint presentation, but it's going to be worth sharing and you can understand it better way. All right, let me share it one here quickly. But before that, give me a sec here. I'll close some applications as those are going to make some noise in the back end so that those are closed. All right. So this is the first slide where you can see the title Becoming Multi-Cloud Architect, right? A practical guide to building real-world multi-cloud solutions across AWS, Azure, and GCP, right? So let's start with this one. Let's understand what is a multi-cloud architect or architecture that you are going to become one, right? Now, to become one and to understand it better way, you can simply see the definition, or by definition, it's simply a architect who does designing, builds, manages solutions across multiple cloud platforms, including Azure, GCP, and AWS, which ensures flexibility, resilience, cost optimization, compliance, security, and whole lot many things, right? These are the different areas you got to focus on to build a solution, to design that solution, and that is going to be helping businesses to stay relevant, and not only relevant, but it is not something build a solution for today. It should be a scalable, resilience, cost optimized, cost effective, compliance and security for the businesses to meet as well. And the main part of this is a strategic thinking is going to be there as well to build a solution, right? As an architect, you got to look for or envision for a future as well, so that it is going to put all of these capabilities together, including flexibility, resilience, cost, and security compliance for the business to stay relevant, right? And you can see there are some of the responsibilities I have put together: designing cross cloud architectures, which is going to help and build a solid foundation to integrate identities, networking, and data capabilities, managing governance, security, and FinOps as well into the same, so that whatever the solutions which we are building, that's going to be put together and business is going to be stay relevant and be efficient as well. To start with, build a foundation of cloud concept or cloud core concepts to understand it better way, right? Starting from cloud models, including infrastructure as service, platform as a service, and SaaS. So these are the three models of cloud, and you got to cover all of them. So that's going to be your foundation. Then you can start with the core concepts of cloud, scalability, elasticity, security. And those core concepts are the areas where those are going to help you to build a complete a cloud core system design solutions and a cloud principal architecture, right? Or it is also called as cloud architecture principles to bring that together, and that's going to help you to build a strong, efficient solutions for the business. Then there are other services of the cloud, including networking, storage, IAM, compute, right? So those are the common services. At least you should have those services as an expert level, so that you got to cover a lot into the cloud, as cloud is going to be a never ending game or never ending capability across the business or in your career to go with. And to start with the practice, you can go ahead with Azure, AWS, and GCP with the free tier accounts, so that you got to cover everything from free tier, and gradually you will adopt other cloud platforms. Let's say you start with Azure, you gradually grab AWS and GCP and correlate things, capabilities, and services and service mappings across, and that's going to definitely help you too. So this is the strong foundation to be built, and then gradually you can move to the next. Mastering one cloud deeply, right? So what it means is that you should start with one cloud, for example, an Azure, and then you should be focusing on compute, storage, networking, identity, and some of the automation part by using biceps, Terraform, ARM, and any other capabilities. And very most important is hands-on projects, where you would be building a project, whether it is a one tier, two tier, or three tier applications using Azure services, including front door, app service, SQLs, or key vaults, or it could be any scenario. It is not only these are the services which will be utilized for three tier applications or one tier or two tier, right? You got to do your research, you got to do your preparation to be able to identify the key services, to be able to build a solution and then put that together and build that architecture along with those services and build that capability for the business, right? So that is how you'll be grinding your thought process behind it, and then it is going to bring mindset of cloud architect, right? Once you have that, definitely, and it is also not easy to build that cloud architect mindset initially, but definitely upon your practice, understanding of services, understanding of capabilities, understanding of what we are going to build as a business solution, right? That is how it is going to help you to build that one. So mastering one cloud deeply is the first and foremost step to take. The next is learn the second cloud, where you would be doing the cross mapping between one cloud platform to another. For example, if you have mastered the Azure, now you got to master AWS and then subsequently GCP as well, right? Where you would be starting with, let's say, Azure App Service, then to the Elastic Beanstalk and App Engine in GCP respectively. And then gradually you will do the same for all other different services, at least the common services across these multiple clouds, including Azure, AWS, GCP, and that's going to help you to map them effectively for the different solutions to build across the cloud. And it is going to help you for the solution building and understanding and what is there, what is not there, how we can go ahead and adopt the cloud platform, where we should rely, where we should go, how it is going to be cost effective, how it is secure, where whether we wanted to go with Azure, AWS, or GCP to and rely on each particular cloud. Now, there could be scenario where you got to do the analytics works across Azure, but you got to do something around PaaS or platform as a services within AWS, and GCP has its other capabilities of database and big queries and all those stuff together too. So you can use those multiple different services for different scenarios, and all of that can be integrated effectively to make that multi-cloud scenarios to work for the business and for the requirements. And once we do that, or once you have right set of understanding of it, definitely you got to build a strong foundation of that cloud platform as well. Now, building such kind of projects across platforms and comparing its performance and pricing and capabilities, that's going to give you the complete understanding of the cloud mapping and cross mapping services. The next is automating everything. What it means is that you should also have an understanding, not only understanding, but you should be able to do the different automation capabilities using either Terraform or Ansible or any other capabilities which you can see by using CI/CD containers, right? So if you go with the CI/CD, you can see GitHub Actions, Azure DevOps, GitLab, Git and GitHub, right? So those are the different third-party solutions that we can bring on and utilize for CI/CD capabilities, right? And same on to the platform as a services, we have different capabilities of Docker, Kubernetes, and these are the different services across each cloud, including AKS for Azure, EKS is for AWS, and GKE is for Google Cloud Platform, right? And then definitely is the area where you got to do hands-on, right? So by deploying a multi-cloud infra using Terraform is going to be the area where you got to get and lot understanding about how you are going to deploy a solution across multiple clouds, right? That's going to give you the real understanding and real experience of deploying and implementing such solutions. The next is cross-cloud networking and identity, right? So here you can see that by implementing and by doing the internet connectivity or connectivity between multiple clouds, whether it is a hybrid multi-cloud connectivity by leveraging its native services, including VPN, Express Route, Direct Connect, and any other connectivity services that each cloud each cloud platform do provides, right? Now, those services would definitely be helping us to make sure we have right set of implementation or we have right set of up integrations that we go ahead and deploy across, right? Without that, it is definitely not going to work as expected. But instead of that, we should definitely look around. Either we should go with the native services, we should go with the third party services, how those services are going to help for our integrations, what are the capabilities which allows us to integrate the services within cloud as well as outside of the cloud platform that we are going to rely on. For example, something is going to work within Azure cloud, but that capability is not easy or that capability is not available to work and integrate with a third party platform like Azure or AWS, right? So we got to connect with the VPN. We have a capability of express route. We have capability of direct connect with AWS, right? So such capabilities and services would be utilized and helped us to integrate with. Then shared identity and federation across Entra ID within Azure, IAM, and Google Identity capabilities across respective platforms, right? So those are also very important to integrate and make sure those are also working as expected, right? So to make that use where cross cloud DNS and zero trust architecture is also implemented effectively. And that way it is going to help us to make sure we are also putting security intact and appropriate connectivity with the DNS and routing is going to happen at the same time. Security, governance, and FinOps, right? So this is very topmost area where we got to cover a lot about when it comes to integrating one platform to another and vice versa, and making sure a multi-cloud architecture is also built together, right? Where we would be integrating and making sure Defender for security, uh, security hub within AWS and SCC within GCP cloud. Policy enforcement using Azure policy, AWS has AWS configs and GCP policy controller to deploy policies. And then definitely a FinOps where we would be tagging, budgeting, chargeback, showback, and all other different FinOps capabilities that can also be integrated and taken the charge of costs or cost optimization across the cloud platform, right now when it comes to the governance part of any cloud, including security and FinOps, that is part of the same where we got to do a lot of work, right? And basis on that, it is going to help us. And to start building that architecture, we should have a right set of understanding what services to offer, what services to be integrated, what services to understand, and make sure we have that capability available. And the next is real world multi-cloud architectures, right? So these are the some of the scenarios that you can start and understand it better way to build a strong solution using any of the cloud, whether it is a single cloud platform or multi-cloud, for disaster recovery across Azure, AWS, data analytics pipelines across different cloud platforms, multi-cloud SaaS architectures that also can be built, AML trainings and inference split across clouds. That means solution building across the cloud platform. That is also going to be one of the area to build that effective solution. And not only these are the few of those areas, but definitely there would be so many areas where to focus on and build that strong solution. The next is developing architect mindset, right? As I talked initially, how you should be doing it. And if you don't have that mindset appropriately, definitely that's not going to help you to build that one and understand and take it further. Now, architect mindset is going to start and is going to be built during and when you start exploring different areas of building solution, designing that solution, making sure that solution is not ready for today only, but also for future, and how that can align with the businesses, right? And how business can stay relevant with that solution by looking at after 5 years or 10 years as well, right? So think in systems and trade-offs. That means you got to think how this system is going to work, how that system is going to available, whether there are, or even if there are different changes in the systems, how that system can be helping us or the business to stay into the game. And trade-offs including security, compliance, governance, and resilience, and cost optimization, and cost effectiveness, and elasticity, right? All of that, those are the design concepts or core system design capabilities that we should also rely on. Designing for scalability and resilience is going to be the key area here, where we would be building solution, but that should also be scalable at any point in time, along with resilient for the business too. Communicate visually with the diagrams, right? So as an architect, you got to communicate your thoughts, your ideas, your solutions to the different stakeholders across the business so that people can understand, and even people from the non-tech background to the tech background and vice versa, they should have a right set of understanding of your skills or your diagrams or your solution, so that they are going to understand, they would be able to think of it, and they would be able to give you a clarity or go ahead for your projects or your deployments or whatever the solutions that you are going to build. And it is not only for the approval purposes, but definitely the solution that you are going to build is going to be something which is going to definitely be making impact to the business and change the business driver accordingly. The next is engaging stakeholders. As I said, on the third point, right, communicating visually with diagrams. The same goes here with the business security and finance factor of it as well. The business impact should definitely be expected whenever you are building solutions, and the same goes with the security and finances, right? So how that solution is going to be cost effective, whether that's going to impact the business overall, whether that is going to impact the organization, and how the solution can bring a capability that's going to bring the business to the system, or the system is built for the business to be able to make the business that effectively. Then there is a complete 9 to 12 months learning timeline. Definitely, this is going to be high level. This is not going to be the same for each and everyone. Even if I have to follow the same thing, this could be different for me, because depending on my way of learning, my way of taking the steps to get into the each area, to be able to dive in and understand each of the key concepts, including fundamentals, and then deep dive, and then second mapping and automation, IAC, networking, security, governance and compliance, or FinOps, and then the real world problems or projects, right? So you can see starting from month one, 2.5, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, 6 to 7, 8, 9 to 10, and 11 to 12. So this is a complete timeline I have put together, and this timeline may not fit for each and everyone, because everyone's expertise, skills, and area of understanding or expertise level is different, right? Now, depending on each of them, they can go ahead and make sure understand from the fundamentals and try to gain the knowledge and hands-on experiences as well, and then gradually move ahead. And even if you are going to take more than 12 months, that is also fine, but still definitely you got to do and cover a lot many things to dive in. And here are some of the tools, platforms, and some of the tips that I put together for different areas. So tools starting from Terraform, Ansible, Kubernetes, Grafana, and Datadog, right? So these are the tools in mind, keeping for the automations for Terraform, Ansible, Kubernetes, Grafana, and Datadog for monitoring solutions. Platforms including Azure Arc, AWS Outpost, and Anthos for hybrid and private platforms. When it comes to the integrating any public cloud into the in-house private data centers, right? Building GitHub portfolio and document your architectures or any solution that you got and you have built for the projects, and share learnings via blog or any other forms, including YouTube as well, right? And which is going to definitely be solidify your expertise and your skills, right? Now, it is not something you got to share your each and every idea, but definitely you got to teach the same with your audiences, be it anyone, right? It could be your colleague, it could be your team members, it could be anyone across your uh, vicinity or necessity, right? So, basis on that, you can go ahead and share your thoughts, your learnings, and build that strong foundation, right? So, these are the topics that I have put together on a high level to become a multi-cloud architect, right? So let me know if you have any questions, any thoughts around the same, and you have seen anything or anything that is different than this to become one, right? And it could be any experience that you got to share with people, so that you can put them into the comment section below, so that people can learn from them and understand it better way. And let's make this learning and exposure and explore the capabilities for each and everyone. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.